Well, the sights and sounds of Kigali we're getting very used to. We're looking forward to seeing how this race plays out. I'll look out over Amahora Stadium. 28 degrees now, the wind at Kara, 5 kilometers an hour. Riders expected on the start line. Our previous winners, Nicholas Behrens, Axel Laurence, of course, now such a fantastic figure in the world tour, and Evgeny Fedorov, Baroncini, Battistella. We'll look back to last year. Another wet day in Zurich. Behrens was superbly strong, sprinting against Sverchek into the finish line. Sverchek had finished in the bronze medal position a year before, and he got the silver behind Behrens in 2024. Let's take a look at today's course. It's the same course we just saw in the junior race, if you joined us for that. But this time riders take on 11 circuits. The key climbs are Kigali Golf and Kimihurura. We've seen dynamic and attritional races so far on this circuit. Let's see how this race goes. Sprawling outskirts of Kigali. We're looking forward to bringing the riders now to the start line. And we'll wind up to my left-hand side in the sunshine and getting their last little bits of instruction before the race gets going. Lots of climbs for these riders today. So 22 different climbs. Here's the rundown of the commissaires who will be looking after the rules this afternoon. A long day for the judges, taking 2 races on board. In the background, the tea plantations. And let's take a look at the start list. We've got 118 riders from 56 different nations over this race distance of 164.6 kilometres. Well, we'll introduce the riders as this race gets underway and work out which nations are making the moves, which ones want to try and take today's race victory. You can spot your favourite rider, favourite nation as we work our way through. And then we'll turn our attention for the race start. So we're right in Kigali for today's race, and we're looking forward to seeing how it progresses. We've got used to the different geography of this particular country and the landscape. We're at 1,500 metres. Rwanda's landscape goes up to 4,500 metres above sea level. We've talked about it as a land of 1,000 hills. It's got 5 volcanic peaks, 23 lakes, loads of rivers. And we're now kind of going towards rainy season. Rainy season starts in October to November. And the average temperatures here in the country between 21 and 28 degrees. Of course, it's the source of some of the headwaters of the River Nile. So it was a very important area for explorers who came here to explore the Nile River. cycling here is growing all the time. The Tour of Rwanda, of course, is the biggest race that is held. It's grown steadily into one of the most respected events on the African calendar. It was first held in 1988 as a national competition. Everybody now welcomes all the continental riders to see the Tour of Rwanda. It became part of the Africa Tour in 2009. So the riders getting ready, signing on the Rwandan team, Austria with their one representative, Marco Schrettel. This is Bernd Feldhofer of Hungary. Eritrea had a good performance in the men's junior race. Here's the Eritrean team. Get themselves ready. Awa Tamar, Hebron Bahar, Yohab Teb, Nicholas Mikhaili, and Gafet Netta. This is the Czechia team. Portugal getting ready. Gabriel Baptista, Daniel Lima, Lucas Lopez and Daniel Herrera. Slovenia team signing the backdrop. Get ready for the race. Nice matching orange shoes. Ecuador about to sign on. One representative from Ecuador. Here's the Belgian team. Aaron Dox, Camille Lehmann, Tim Rex, Jasper Scoofs, and we're done. Well, everybody's finished the men's junior race. Tried to find a quick bit of lunch and then got back in the cars and buying commentary positions and all that ready for this under-23 road race. Jose Manuel Pelaez, the UCI Vice President, is going to drop the flag today on the race. He was honoured yesterday in the UCI Congress.
We are 1 minute in the minute.
That's the Belgian team getting ready. Hydration is everything today on this course. You need to make sure the feeling going. MC Brian, the voice of the Tour of Rwanda, getting these fans wound up ready for the race. Real concentration, 118, dreaming now of being the world champion in a few hours' time. Well, the average speed of the junior race was over 40 kilometres an hour. What are the under 23s going to do? How are they going to take this on? 11 laps of racing. Under 23 World Championship road race underway. 118 riders of 56 nations enrolled at the start. Neutralised section as always for the riders to get the chance to settle in. Vehicles going past me now, past the commentary position as they pull away. All the team cars of all the different riders and nations. The neutral service cars have gone as well. Here's the front of the lineup. The German team seem keen to be right at the front. Not pushing like the junior race was. There was a real forcing of the pace by a number of different teams at the front as we rolled away for the junior race. This time it looks like the Corsairs are driving the lead car a lot more steady than the under under 23 is not prepared to push it quite as much. We are adding another 50 kilometres to the race, so it will make a massive difference. On 50k is another different situation for these riders. United States have got two riders in here, Cole Kessler and Egan Boyle. Egan Boyle, the rider, wears number 70, Cole Kessler wears number 71. United States had a good opportunity in the junior race. They had some very, very good riders indeed, as we told here to just keep calm into this left-hand turn. Had a few crashes in the junior men's race, so we don't forget this way. Clearly this is a call now that we recognise is really good for the climbers. But you also need plenty of power. We look at Sonia Jarry, a great cyclocross rider yesterday. She just looked composed for the entire race. Kilometre zero and the men's under 23 World Championship is underway. Let's see what the pattern of this race is. It might give us some indications for the elite races over the weekend. It's a smaller peloton, 118 riders, 56 nations compared to the junior race, but the first attacks start to happen at the front. The first moves of the day, Turkey represented, Poland represented. Just trying to get into the moves. Big acceleration, more nations trying to attack. Recognize that you can end up with breakaways that go forwards and ultimately it might pay off. So Turkey in this breakaway right at the front, the first attackers on today's under 23 world title. Trying to come across now is the Kazakh rider, and that is Diaz Rusbey. It's just a bit no man's land. Three riders settling in. Great to see the UAE represented right at the front of the race already. Decided to get in the attack. Here's our chaser. Mohammed Al-Alayli is the rider from the UAE who's put himself in here. Another move, one of the Ukrainian riders trying to get across. And Al-Alayli in second place there in the colours of the UAE, that black jersey with the green, white and red touches. Move here. Turkish rider is Delay. Maybe 20 years of age. Just ridden the Tour of Shah of Salalah. Finished third in the Emirates Under 23 Road Race Championship. The Tour of Sharjah early on in the season as well. So Al-Alayli is making his moves here and trying to get himself up the road. Delay is with him. Mohamed Delay. Sorry, Tunisia, not Turkey. Tunisia. On the attack now. Multiple national champion of Tunisia. The peloton just staying quite calm at the moment. Prepared to do any chasing. being distanced. Edward Ngunu of Kenya. So there's the visual situation. 3 leaders with 1 chaser in the early stages of this race.
Tenemos.
Oh, crash on the corner. One rider hits the deck from Rwanda.
Cuando ande la
That is
liga.
Leon Kuru. You saw them go round that
Es
turn.
que sería fuerte.
Leon Kuru, I don't know if he touched a wheel. Yeah, he did. Touched a wheel into that corner. Here's our lead group. Komorski of Poland has found his way into this group, wearing number 25. Lady of UAE, Tunisian rider number 82. And on the back is the Ukrainian rider who's made his way into the group. We never saw the Kazakhstan rider get there. So it's Kazaris of Ukraine who's made his way into the group. Komorski, the Polish rider in the red and white. Just being led by a number of different teams who are prepared to just the Rwandan rider's got himself back into the group, so he's recovered from that little crash that he just had. Mikko Pomorski of Poland in the front group of riders. Ethiopian rider just pedaling his way back in. Pomorski's 22 years of age, and here's the return of the Rwandan rider. Perhaps starting to grow now already. At the back, number 86. This is Kalameo, riding for Ethiopia. Two Ethiopian riders side by side almost at the back of the group. And there'll be different ways that the riders will decide to ride this race. Kalameo, member of Team Amani, which is the African team that is trying to really change things here in Africa, in their particular area. We're trying to get different African riders into that whole system. They're trying to find an endurance rider and use some of the techniques that have been used in Ireland sports in Africa to find the very best rider they can find, with some great partners doing that. Alaleli goes to the left-hand side, just works his way up. This is the first of our climbs. We've reached the bottom of the Kota Kigali Gulf. Climbed this on numerous occasions. Only this 800-meter power climb. Belgium on the left-hand side. They've got a good team here. With Jasper Scoops and Jarno, we have 2 riders who could certainly win the title today. Yilmaz on the front in the red and white. His return Turkey. I don't know why I thought he was from Tunisia. I suddenly thought his kit was different. So Yilmaz from Turkey, going uphill, 20 years of age, second in the Grand Prix Italia in 2025. The American team showing up the front now as well. The peloton don't seem to want to let too much of an advantage go. Lady there in second place. The rider on the front from Turkey has won a number of criterion races there as well this season. Also rode the Tour of Turkey. 18th place on one of the stages. He also won a number of criterions in Turkey right at the beginning of the season. There were quite a few in sort of February time. So Ramazan Yilmaz is the representative of Turkey in that front group. Peloton all riding, very, very steady. A little bit of a move on the outside as Italy put representatives up towards the front. Oh, that looks painful, doesn't it? Quinn of Kenya is dropped all of a sudden. He's looking okay, and now he's being distanced. The Eritrean rider, number 93 there. That's Yafiat Mulugeta. He's at the World Cycling Centre actually. He's had a few performances. He rode the mixed relay team time trial. We saw him do that the other day. Was fifth in the individual time trial of Eritrea, and he actually finished second in a race in France, the Grand Prix de Fleuran. Our Laley's finding this pace a little bit too much. He was pushing on at the beginning. But it looks like his legs are just left wanting on that particular uphill section. To the feed zone for the first time. Pomorski moves across the road. Just trying to get this breakaway established. Torres at the back, number 62. Doesn't seem to be doing any work though. The Ukrainian rider, national champion of the individual time trial. Hasn't had many race days this season. He's ridden about 10 race days in total. He's 10th in the Ukrainian Road Race Championships. A few more conversations going on at the front of the peloton. I've not seen as many riders being distanced as Al Laley is now going back to the peloton. I think he probably got a little bit overexcited on that last climb. Would have been good just to sit in the wheels. He's just overextended himself a little bit there. So we're going to come down to the first big climb on the cobbles of the day. We're going to reach there at 153.4 kilometres of racing to go. It's a 1.3 kilometre climb at 6.3%. To grow their lead to 30 seconds now. If you'd like to get in touch today, please feel free. At Ham Crossing is where you can get hold of me. Going on at the front now of the peloton as they just lengthen things out a little bit. This World Championship was first run in 1996 in Lugano. It was won by Giuliano Figueras. Last year it was Darren's who took the victory, as we saw right at the beginning of the programme. Axel Laurent's won in 2023. Musa from Cameroon, just been distanced here. It's nice to watch, isn't it, when you see riders who clearly are going downhill just as fast, and they lose 10 metres and then you're gone. You don't come back. You might come back if you're lucky with a group or something, but you just realise that suddenly the peloton was gone. There's no rhyme or reason to it other than you've lost 10 metres and you're suddenly having to push the air yourself. Right, we're on to Kimihurura, 11% at the bottom, as if you've been watching the other races, we've got used to. So you have to really just concentrate on this climb. At this time in the race, these riders will just be measuring the effort. You don't want to go firmly in the red zone right now. We're starting to see some moves from the team of Italy. Just trying to work out what their plan might be. They've certainly got race favourites in this particular Italian squad. Lorenzo Finn was the junior world champion last year. Borgo is in here, who rides for Bahrain Victorious. And imagine the Italian team believe that they can probably win today's race if they play things right. So Alaleli of UAE's gone from the front group all the way through and gone out the back, unfortunately. This is Mali. Mali rider, the amateur, and a problem here for the Haiti rider, and this is Wilson Tanon. Two Mali riders together. Timoka Diallo, Timoka Matan. Just can't go with the pace that's been set on this rise. 271 metres of climbing remain. And this race is starting to come back together. This is Kozaris. Look at teams who might win today. We talked about the Italian team a moment ago. When you look at their squads, Alessandro Borgo rides for Bahrain Victorious, Lorenzo Finn rides for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe Rookies, Simone Gualdi rides for Intermarché Wanty, and Pietro Matteo is part of the Fisma Lisa Bike team, and he's moving from their development team into their World Tour team. So there's that Italian team is incredibly strong. Such a shame for the Ethiopian rider. Looks like he's got a puncture. Kozaris is our solo leader, but things are coming back together. Only 10 seconds then for Kozaris. Belgium have got a really good field of riders in here. Just watch the riders work their way up and over that particular little section. As Kozaris continues with his effort. Perhaps the race favourite for today. Jakob Soderquist, after his time trial the other day. This is the Ukrainian rider at the front coming up towards the end of lap number 1. We'll get 10 laps of racing remaining. Jakob Soderquist of Sweden. He'll have to be clever though, he's the solo competitor from Sweden this afternoon. But he's there and he's the strong rider, he knows the course, he clearly was incredibly strong in the time trial. We'll get an idea now of the average speed of the riders, how things are going as they come up to complete lap number 1 and get 10 laps of racing remaining. Kozares is the solo leader at the end of lap 1. Not too many seconds between the two groups right now, just a matter of just under 20. To the convention centre. Built on the model of the traditional huts. Dome-shaped landmark. It's a global conference hub now there, and it opened in 2016. Kozares has completed that lap, the average speed 41.6 on that first lap, which is a pretty rapid tempo. The average speed of the opening lap of the junior race was actually 41.8, so that lap was just a little bit slower than the junior race. Shows how well the juniors were going earlier. The pattern of this under 23 race though should be a little bit different. Leading across the line that time in the peloton was Paul Feetsker, Tim Rex, Marco Schrettel, also Jana Widar, Niels Abrasold, Hebron Berhan of Eritrea, Lorenzo Fien of Italy, Yo Haptian was also at the front of the race. There are 101 riders already. So we've lost 17 riders from the peloton on that first lap of racing. Kozares has clearly decided I want to go it alone today. He was with that original group of riders, he's continued with his workload and gone away.
Two horse matches, guys, you need to stay.
This is Jakobon Brazil of Slovenia, having a little problem at the back. Trying this at home. He's obviously got a problem with this. I'm not so sure he's going to get that back in. Why not ride without your computer today? I don't think this is going to happen, is it? This is the little bracket, for those of you who don't know, that holds your computer. He's asked for an Allen key. At this sort of speed, I just don't think it's going to happen. He's got to get the Allen key in that bracket and get it done up. Why not go old school, take your computer off and ride? You never know what might happen.
Simon, he was. Mai?
Come on, Rosell at the back.
Number 1, Vanni.
That's for the Bahrain Victorious development team. He'll be riding for Bahrain Victorious' World Tour team next season. He's won the Giro d'Italia Next Generation. He's a very useful bike rider. He took that back in June. He was second on the final stage into Pinarolo. Fourth overall, that's a good idea. Swap into another bike. Come on, Rosell. He should have no problem getting himself back on. So swap into a bike that he can put his computer onto. "19 years of age. Come on, Rosell. One in Novo Mesto. There's a few riders here in the pits are bringing their race to an end, unfortunately, at the end of the first lap. Amaru Musa of Cameroon looks like, unfortunately, the bike gave out, that chain has gone. And 46 kilometres to go. We will go down to the bottom of Kigali Golf again at 142.6 kilometres. Still Kozores continues with his advance. We're talking about 1996, the first edition of this Under-23 World Championship. In the last few years, riders who have medalled in this championship are already, of course, top World Tour riders. Biniam Girmay was a rider who finished in the silver medal position in 2021. Girmay, such a trailblazer for African sport. Green jersey of the Tour de France just a few years later. And on that day, it was Baroncini who took the victory. Biniam Girmay was second, and Olaf Koy, who was in third place. So some fast sprinters that day. In 2019, it was Samuele Battistella ahead of Stefan Bissega and Tom Pidcock, but that was the day when the result was changed right at the finish after the chase of the Dutch rider. Soren Varensgold has taken a bronze medal in 2022. Axel Laurence, I mentioned, the winner in 2023, as now the Belgian team come to the front. But other winners of this race in the history of this championship: Mark Hirschi was the winner in 2018. The year before it was Benoit Cosnefroy. We go back to 2013, Matej Moric took the victory. That was the year after he'd taken the junior victory. And I think that's the first day to see Jakob Rosell come back. He's one of the race favourites for today. Matej Moric, winner 2013, the year after 2012 when he took the junior victory, and I think that's the first time in a bike race that we ever saw the super tuck. Many people think it was Chris Froome who invented the super tuck, which has now been, of course, removed from competition, but it was actually in that World Championship, Matej Moric in the under-23 race went onto the top tube and pedalled for the first time. It wasn't the first time he'd done it, it was the first time we'd seen it on screen. But that then became a thing. Chris Froome then used it in the Tour de France, and the rest is history. This group of riders just pedaling their way back in. We'll give the chance for the Venezuelan, number 79, Maestra, to come back. Before Matej Moric took the victory in 2013, Alexei Lutsenko was the winner in 2012. And before that, one of the fastest sprinters, Arnold Demar. A world champion this time in the mixed relay, Michael Matthews took the victory in 2010. I remember him winning that world championship. I think it was one of the first world titles I commentated on. Roman Sicard was the winner in 2009. And then before that, if you go into the 90s, Ivan Basso won it in 1998, and Kurt Arvidsson won it in 1997. So many big names in the world of cycling have won this under-23 title or taken medals as well. Peloton working its way now to Kigali Golf. We're about to hit the bottom of it now. One thing that was also interesting was in 1996 in Lugano is that Italy took 1, 2, 3. And then they did it again in 1998 when Basso did take the victory and he beat Nocentini into second and Danilo De Luca into third. So 3 Italians in the top places overall. Cosarez continues with his attack. France got a 1-2 in 2011 with Demar and Audrey Petit. And other riders who've taken medals in recent years, Pascal Ackermann, Lennon Kemner. We've mentioned Menkes took silver in 2013 in Firenze behind Matej Moric. Brian Cockart took a silver in 2012, so it just shows you just how important this actual race is and how you can become one of the top riders in the world if you take the under-23 world title. Italy have got the most medals, 16 in total, with 6 golds, 6 silvers and 4 bronze. Cosarez has gone straight out the back, from front to back and out the back. It's happened now twice, with the UAE rider doing the same. Belgium in the ascendancy as the peloton is all together. Ugandan rider is distanced. Shafiq Mugalu. We've got 2 riders in here. Laurent is also in there as well. So it's Belgium now who decide to just start to turn the screw on everybody. All 4 of their riders at the front. They've got 5 riders in total, so they've got 1 rider sitting a little bit further back. But this team are obviously deciding, let's take this on early, let's make life a little bit difficult for the rest of the peloton. As the Mauritian rider goes out the back, this is Piat. Tomorrow we might see a lot more of this Mauritian jersey. Kim McCall, one of the favourites for the women's race. Australia starts to move forwards. The green and gold, the white jersey with the green and gold across it. Matthew Greenwood, Zach Marriage and Hamish McKenzie. This is Amishi from Turkey, who's also now been dropped. I think this is going to be that sort of situation throughout most of today, where we're just going to see riders get more and more distanced. On the front of the peloton, Tim Rex of Belgium. He's the one who's been asked to do the work. Belgium may well sacrifice some riders in order to try and win this race today. So team tactics will come into play in this particular championship. It's Tim Rex on the front, 21 years of age, rides with the development team of Fiesma Lisa Bike. He will be joining the World Tour team in 2026. See him there on that yellow bike, yellow and black Solello. Third on the stage of the Tour de l'Avenir in 2024. So many of these under-23 riders are moving into the World Tour so early. The South African rider realises suddenly that he's the last in the string. This is Joshua Dyke. There's the makeup of the team. We've got Hedrick Kroes, Lane Kirk and Warren Moolman. Tim Rex on the front, 8th in the Liège-Bastogne-Liège for under-23 riders in 2024. It's a good climber, Tim Rex. Doesn't look that fast, does it? 76 kilometres an hour down this particular section. Almost at Kimerarura for the second time. About 400 metres until we reach the cobbles. And we'll see what sort of damage the cobbles will do this time. Certainly it's getting rid of riders every single lap. And without really trying to exert any pressure on the pace, we're hitting 80k an hour down towards the cobbled section. We take this left-hander and then the next left-hander, and then we're pretty much on the cobbles again. We're onto the cobbles. Belgium in the ascendancy of this peloton. The team of Italy just sitting behind as Pietro Matteo, who's there. Whoops, problem here for New Zealand. This is the only New Zealand rider, Edmund Connolly. He's got gear problems. He's managed to get it going by the looks of things. He's got a bit of a chase on his hands now, the New Zealander. Only 4 New Zealand riders are actually here at these World Championships. So you want to give him the best chance possible, keep him in that peloton and see if he can produce something for New Zealand this afternoon. We're into the afternoon now, it's 20 to 1 here at Kigali. Belgium force the tempo. So an important and nice touch today as we just see the lie go out the back for Tunisia on the 95. Memory of Muriel Ferrer from last year, of course, that tragic day. Muriel Ferrer, the UCI has announced that number 84 will never again be used in the junior women's road race at the UCI Road World Championships in memory of Muriel Ferrer, who died after that crash last year. So we'll never see 84 used again. I think that's a very important memory of a rider who is sadly missed by her friends and family. One thing that has come out of what happened with Muriel Ferrer last year, as we look here at Amy Rimazera going out the back, is that you'll see underneath the saddles of all these riders there is a little pack, a data pack, and that data pack is now being used for safety, and it means that everybody knows that all the riders are still on the route. And that's an important innovation that's been added. Very, very important in terms of the memory of Muriel. So Belgium continue with the pressure, forcing the pace. You see the peloton, everybody just hunched over, riders just being dropped, one of the Czechia riders going back in the convoy as well. It'll be interesting to see how many riders are left at the end of this lap. We had 101 riders left in the main bulk of the race. It's funny, isn't it? When you look at the riders, as we go back here to number 11 and 2, this is our neutral athlete, Andrei Belianin. It's incredible when you look at the Slovenian riders, how their position and their style mirrors Tadej Pogačar. And I don't know whether it's the way that they do their bike fits or bike setups in Slovenia, but I mean, it's a good thing to copy. He's the most talented bike rider of his generation. But when you watch Jakob Omrazel, who rides for the Bahrain Victorious development team, will move into Bahrain Victorious, when he's climbing on that cobble section, he has exactly the same style, pretty much, as Tadej Pogačar. And it's all the way through this Slovenian team, that the way they hold the bars, the way they ride. You can see it with the rider in the blue and white helmet. The style is so similar. Coming up to the end of this lap, we'll have 9 laps of racing to go. We'll see what the average speed is. It was 41.6 last time. Last time it was Kozores who led. He had a 14-second advantage. This time it's a peloton that is all together. Peloton at Gruppe. And it's Canada who are going to be the first team across the line this time, with Jonas Walton, son of Brian Walton, as he goes across the line. Average speed 41.262. Jonas Walton led Evan Boyle from the USA across the line. Behind them, it was Tim Rex. He must have enjoyed signing his name. Surely, if he wins the world title, he just signs T-Rex. Lehman was in 4th place, Jana Widar, Pietro Matteo, and a problem here for the Italian, and this is Simone Gualdi. Needs a wheel change. Not a bad place in the course to have a wheel change. Front wheel change as he gets himself going now. Trey and Hebron Bahan also up towards the front of the peloton in 15th place. Lorenzo Finn is the rider up towards the front, having a drink for Italy, just pouring water over himself. Jonas Walton from Canada across the line first. Son of Brian Walton, who rode for 7-Eleven and Saturn, silver medalist in the points race at the Atlanta Olympics. He also won a stage at the Tour of Langkawi in 1997, and the Tour of Langkawi will start on Sunday. One of the most important Asian races.
umuceri ugiye gushya ariko
So that's our
sinabirindira
average
byaba
speeds on the right hand
byabuze
side,
kandi
41.6 for the
bigasaba
first lap, 41.4 for the second lap,
dusangire
and about
uzanire
just
bya bintu
around 20-minute laps, 20 to 22-minute laps.
ndamuzaho pise ibintu byanjye.
Sitting right on the back of the peloton now, Halvor Dolven of Norway. Slovakia with number 56 there, that's Schwarzbacher. And number 120 there is in the group of riders, that's Kam Chinpok of Macau. And the Chinese rider sitting in front, number 59, Li Yu. Number 56 looks like he's having a very easy time, isn't he, Schwarzbacher? Just moving the bike around. You have to be so patient in a World Championship. It's not necessarily about being at the front early, attacking early. You've got to be extremely patient. It's a waiting game. You've got to sense the race and feel when things are going the right way for you. We saw that in the men's junior race. Got to be able to feel the race, feel the way that it's playing out for you and deciding when you make your moves. Belgium basically riding a team time trial on the front this afternoon. Italy lining up behind them. Lorenzo Fin is the second place rider. Pietro Matteo of Italy there. Lorenzo Fin, junior world champion. Mum's Italian, dad is British. So when you listen to him, he has a very, very good English. As Gualdi tries to come back. Gualdi just getting a little bit of water, pouring it over himself. It is getting more intense, the weather this afternoon. After last night it rained, it meant that it was a little bit fresher this morning. But now you're getting that intensity of heat and the altitude and everything combined. The more dense air that there is that we've been experiencing over the last few days. Jonas Walton at the back. Oh, a little bit of a wobble on the bike. That didn't look quite right. Why, but his bike was kind of moving around underneath him there. Just heard on Radio Tour an announcement to remind everybody to not throw bottles outside feed zones, because I've seen a couple being thrown and gels being thrown, and it's not a done thing, particularly in Rwanda. So they've just put a warning out to stop that happening. I have to say I was impressed that here in Rwanda, single-use plastic bags are completely banned. You can't bring them into the country at all. That is a great focus on getting rid of the single-use plastics across the world, at least trying to do something in this country. And actually, when you look, there is no litter around this. I've not seen anything at the side of the roads. And so many other countries in the world, you have to you just look and you see plastic bags and everything. You don't see them here, and it's not that this area has been tidied up. That's how it is. almost at the bottom of Kigali Golf again. Less than 2, which is about 2 kilometres there until we reach there again.
Back of the Palton.
Jules Walton quite happy to sit on the back with the Slovakian rider just in front of him. Let's see what sort of damage Kigali Golf does this time. The drumming that's become so synonymous with these World Championships, you hear it everywhere. Belgium carry on with their pacemaking. Just trying to work out what their tactic is this afternoon. Well, they just want to make the race really hard for later on in the race. They've obviously decided they need to keep this momentum very, very high. They've got Jana Wiedaert, who rides for the Lotto team. He's been in their development team for a little while, but he's moving to the next level up team, although there's lots of rumours about Lotto right now. But he won the Giro Next Generation in 2024. He's an incredibly talented bike rider. He also won Valle d'Aosta 2 years running. He's also won the under-23 Liège Baston Liège, the under-23 Flash Ardennais. He's an incredible bike rider, and he is potentially Belgium's winner of today. Jasper Scoofs is in there as well, though, and he is a member of the Soudal Quickstep development team. So Jasper Scoofs could be another rider. He's finished 9th in Valle d'Aosta. He's won a number of bike races. He just finished 4th in Chrono Challenge Level-Lader. He rode well in the Tour de l'Avenir, a top 25 place there. He was top 10 in Valle d'Aosta, and he finished all of the other big races of the season. So Jasper Scoofs is another possibility for today. The Italian team there, as Belgium set a very hard tempo, 2 of their riders are coming back. Kamil Eamon bringing back Jana Wiedaert that we were just talking about. I wonder why Belgium have been riding that hard. Probably the answer is they didn't know these 2 riders are out the back. Wiedaert looks around, nods, wearing number 16 there he is, very, very comfortable. Doesn't seem to be having any issues today with the way he's riding.
batajya kwifotoreza mu murima.
Very comfortable as he pedals his way back onto the rear of the peloton and his teammates bringing him back. So Eamon bring it right to the front of the race. Without the race radio zone, the 3 Belgian riders on the front have no idea what the pace they're setting. It's going to make life a little difficult for Jana Wiedaert this afternoon.
Ariyo byanze yavuye.
Judah Thompson has abandoned for Thailand. appropriate number for abandoning. Number 59, Li Yu of China. That's a shame for Al-Layli. He was in the breakaway and now he's abandoned the race. He gave it a shot. He tried to put the UAE on the map by going on the move. I think he got a little bit carried away. Once he was in that breakaway, forcing the pace at that time in the race is so difficult, but it was good to see the UAE represented in a breakaway in the World Championships. Through the feed zone, riders trying to get as much water on board as they possibly can. Got to be a mix of water and electrolytes for today's race, so that those electrolytes help with the absorption of the water. Just pure water all the time. The riders also will be taking carbs in their bottles, trying to supplement the gels they've got. But in this sort of heat, it's very, very fine line between being a little bit sick after taking so much water, gels and everything else on board, and being absolutely fine. This is Louis Ledart, number 4, coming back into the race.
abasore b'i Kigali bari kunoba.
Louis Ledart rides for the Lidl Trek Future Racing Team. So he's in that feeder team into Lidl Trek, just of course signed Juan Ayuso. Back in the peloton, number 111, Laurence Laurent. Rider for Uganda, still there, still sitting in the wheels, doing a good job. Louis Ledart though, 20 years of age from Germany, riding for that Lidl Trek Future Racing squad. So he's got a chance of going into the Lidl Trek World Tour team if he continues to progress. He's just ridden Tour de l'Avenir, finished second on stage into V3. On that day he was beaten by Elliot Rowe of Great Britain. Still on the peloton, led by Belgium this afternoon. If you'd like to get in touch, at @McCrossan, at UCI_cycling is where you can get us during these World Championships. This is the Kigali Genocide Memorial. A very important memorial in this region. We've seen on a number of different occasions, but each time we see it, it doesn't diminish the need to talk about it and see it. Genocide Memorial, just about 6 kilometres from where we are right now. It's a real testament to the courage and unity of the Rwandan people in that unimaginable horror in 1994. And that memorial chronicles the efforts to halt that genocide against the Tutsi. On to Kimihurura again. That whole genocide museum is really important. A living memorial honours the bravery of those who fought to save the lives of everybody and the millions who perished during the genocide. That problem at the back for the Algerian rider, Usama Marouni. just in front of him is Mustafa Taraki. When you start to feel the pace, you really feel the pace on this course. So still Belgium pushing the tempo. Many of Algeria going out the back, 22 years of age, here in this under-23 World Road Race Championship. The South African rider is starting to feel this as well. This is Joshua Dyke. He's not enjoying this climb at all. And his teammate is also starting to suffer on the left-hand side at the back as well. Warren Moolman is feeling the pace. And some of the fans enjoying the fact that if you cheer the riders on a bit, they go a little bit quicker and they get themselves back in the race. Almost at the top of the cobbled section this time. We reach the top at a 21.9. Oh, big problem here. And Chain has got completely caught up. This is Capital. So much time, so many times this happens now, doesn't it? Where the chain comes off, drops in the middle, completely blocked, and there's nothing you can do except stop. Still Belgium pushing this tempo. Really taking this on. Is this the right tactic for the afternoon? Trade still represented up at the front. Ronda's now getting to the end of their training for the World Championship on Sunday for the men's road race. This is Alouani of Morocco. He's lasted a fair time and now he's getting dropped. Remco Evenepoel has just finished his preparation with a distance of 163 kilometres, 4.5 hour ride, and he's just said on his details of that ride, his log of the ride, actually one of the most beautiful training laps I've ever done. Big bits of news from yesterday, for those of you just fans of cycling and watch everything, is that the UCI Mountain Bike World Championships are going to Durango on the 40th anniversary of the first edition. They're going there in 2030. Can you imagine how big that's going to be in Durango? Mountain biking, it's going to be unbelievable. The end of this lap then. We're coming up to complete our next lap, and we'll have 8 laps of racing to go. The average speed has been up at around 41.2. Belgium are the team responsible for making that happen. 8 laps to go, just over an hour of racing covered. Speed as we approach here. We'll take a look at what it's going to be. Belgium cross the line first. At the front of this peloton of riders, 8 laps of racing to go. The average speed is 41.213 kilometres an hour. And in terms of number of riders who are in the peloton, still at this point in the race, 79 riders remain. After the first lap was 101, now we're on 79. 39 riders have gone. There's the stats for you on the right hand side. There's a lot of building going on around this particular area of the course, as you'll see in the background. Seems like there's a lot of development in this particular area. Here's a group of riders trying to make their way back into the race, having been distanced a little while ago. Includes Jonas Walton, the Canadian. Also in here is Joshua Dyke of South Africa. Never give in, you just never know how things might develop. Tekle Alameo of Ethiopia on the back. Also in here is number 85, and that's Munier of Senegal. He's the rider wearing the star on the back of the jersey, the red shorts. Amara Stadium means peace in Kinyarwanda, expanded now to 45,000 seats. And this stadium so famous for sheltering thousands of civilians during the genocide of 1994. It was used by the United Nations at that particular time. First hour racing, 42.3 kilometres an hour. It's a fast tempo in this men's under-23 road race. We're now at the distance of what we saw the juniors rides earlier on today. We've just heard that Samuel Novak of Slovakia has just abandoned the race. And a problem here for the German. And this is Mauro Brenner. It's amazing how many riders are dropping chains, isn't it? So Mauro Brenner